What if I told you that there's a UFC fighter right now who is tearing through the competition with one of the most dangerous knockout punches in the game? His name is Ilia El Matador Topuria, and he's not just another fighter, he's an absolute knockout machine. Whether it's a crisp, clean shot or a brutal flurry of punches, Topuria finishes fights and he finishes them fast. If you're not paying attention to this guy yet, it's time to start. Stick with me, because I'm about to tell you why Ilia Topuria is the baddest knockout artist in the UFC right now. Early life and wrestling roots, building the fighter. Ilia Topuria didn't grow up thinking he'd be a UFC superstar. He grew up as an athlete, always moving towards greatness. Born in Germany to Georgian parents, Ilia moved back to his family's homeland in Georgia when he was just 7 years old. This move would shape his future in a big way, as he dove deep into sports from an early age. Like many young athletes, Ilia initially started with wrestling, but he wasn't just a casual wrestler. He trained in Greco-Roman wrestling, a brutal style that focuses on controlling your opponent through strength and technique. At the age of 15, Ilia moved to Spain, looking for new opportunities and a better wrestling gym. He eventually crossed paths with the Clement brothers, who were teaching mixed martial arts, MMA, and jiu-jitsu. This is where the spark for his MMA career began. Training under them, Ilia was immediately drawn to the creativity of MMA, how it combined everything from striking to grappling, making it a complete combat sport. At just 18, Ilia made his professional MMA debut, and it wasn't just any debut, it was fast, brutal, and efficient. He took his opponent down with a perfect double-leg takedown, transitioned to side control, and in less than a minute had him tapping out. Right from the start, it was clear Ilia wasn't just a wrestler. He was a natural fighter with the instincts to succeed at the highest levels. From wrestler to striker, the transition to knockouts. Now here's where things get interesting. Ilia didn't just settle for being a great wrestler. He wanted more. He wanted to be a well-rounded fighter, and for that, he needed to evolve his game. His striking, while decent at first, wasn't polished. But this is where Topuria's work ethic shone through. He started dedicating himself to improving his striking. He spent hours working on his punches, kicks, and combinations. And it wasn't long before he was able to seamlessly blend his grappling with his new striking skills. In his earlier fights, Ilia's wrestling was the key to his success. He used his takedowns, control, and submissions to dominate his opponents. But as he progressed, he started adding more knockout power into his arsenal. His punches were quick, precise, and heavy. This evolution in his game made him a more dangerous fighter. It wasn't just about taking people down anymore. He could now end a fight with a single shot. His transformation was clear in his first big fights in the regional circuits. In one of his title fights, he showed off his improved striking by landing a perfectly timed overhand right that stunned his opponent. As he continued to gain experience, his ability to chain punches together became his signature. Instead of just throwing one or two punches at a time, Topuria would fire off combinations, landing punch after punch before his opponent could even react. This combination style started to become his trademark, a style that would serve him well as he made his way to the UFC. The Cage Warriors debut, dominating the competition. Ilia's journey to the UFC wasn't just about winning, it was about dominating. After a string of wins, he made his debut with the prestigious Cage Warriors promotion. His fight against Brian Bulan in the Cage Warriors arena was a defining moment in his career. Even though he missed weight by 4 pounds, he was still able to make a statement inside the cage. From the start of the fight, it was clear, Ilia was on another level. He controlled the fight with ease, showcasing his improved striking and dominant grappling. He showed no mercy, throwing his opponent around effortlessly. After dominating the stand-up exchanges, he took Bulan's back and locked in an anaconda choke, forcing him to tap out. That performance left no doubt. Ilia was ready for the big stage, and his calling to the UFC was inevitable. UFC debut, stepping into the big league. The UFC came calling, and Ilia Topuria was ready. On short notice, he made his debut against Isef Zal, a fighter who was 3-0 in the UFC at the time. Everyone was watching to see if Topuria could bring his dynamic skills to the biggest stage of all. And wow, did he deliver? In this fight, he showed the world his striking power, timing, and calmness under pressure. Despite being backed into a corner, He was cool, calm, and collected. He landed a vicious left knee that stunned his opponent and followed it up with his signature takedowns. He hit a belly-to-belly suplex before transitioning into a seated katakatame and eventually an anaconda choke, winning the fight in impressive fashion. This debut performance proved that Ilia Topuria wasn't just a strong wrestler. He was now a complete fighter, and his knockout power was undeniable. It was a dominant victory that left everyone in the UFC buzzing. Rising through the rankings, getting better with every fight. Ilia's next fight came against Damon Jackson, a seasoned submission specialist. Jackson's game plan was clear. He wanted to take the fight to the ground and work his submission game. But Ilia wasn't interested in playing Jackson's game. From the start, Ilia's jab was on point, and he landed a few powerful body shots to set the pace for the fight. But the real magic happened when Ilia turned the tables on Jackson with some of the cleanest counters you'll ever see. When Jackson came forward with a big hook, Ilia effortlessly slipped to the side and countered with a nasty uppercut that left Jackson hurt. Ilia followed it up with a brutal liver shot that dropped Jackson to the canvas. And just like that, the fight was over. Ilia Topuria's development as a striker was now impossible to ignore. He was mixing his wrestling with his knockout power and doing it with a level of precision that was rare to see. The Ryan Hall fight, avoiding submissions and showing patience. Next up for Ilia was Ryan Hall, a submission specialist known for pulling off crazy submissions like his iconic twister. Hall's game was simple: get in close, grab a hold of your opponent, and go for the submission. But Ilia wasn't having any of it. He stayed calm and composed, not allowing Hall to get his hands on him. Ilia's patience paid off. As Hall tried to roll into one of his signature submission attempts, Ilia stayed on the outside, landing clean, sharp strikes to hurt him. Every time Hall tried something new, Ilia was ready. The fight showed just how much Ilia had grown, not only in his striking, but in his mental game as well. He knew exactly when to strike, when to counter, and when to be patient. It was a clear win for Ilia, and it showed the world that he wasn't just a knockout artist, he was a smart, strategic fighter too. Moving up to lightweight, more power, more knockouts. After taking care of business in the featherweight division, Ilia made the move up to lightweight, where he faced former Cage Warriors champion Jay Herbert. Now remember, moving up in weight means facing opponents who are naturally bigger and stronger. But that didn't faze Ilia. In fact, he was faster, more explosive, and just as dangerous. Herbert tried to press the action, but Ilia was too quick, landing a body-head combo that knocked Herbert out cold before he even hit the floor. It was a brutal, electrifying finish, and it solidified Ilia's place as one of the top fighters in the UFC. That knockout was a sign of things to come. Ilia wasn't just here to compete, he was here to dominate. Bryce Mitchell, dominating the grappler with striking. One of Ilia's toughest tests came against the undefeated Bryce Mitchell, a grappling wizard with a serious submission game. Mitchell was known for his grappling, especially his famous twister submission, and he had an undefeated streak in the UFC to back it up. But Ilia wasn't fazed. He outstruck Mitchell at every turn, stuffing takedowns and landing clean shots with ease. His ability to avoid Mitchell's submissions while landing brutal strikes made the fight look easy. In the second round, as Mitchell began to slow down, Ilia landed a devastating right hand that dropped him. A few strikes later, and Mitchell was tapping out to an arm triangle. Another statement victory for Ilia, who proved he could handle any challenge, no matter how tough. Emmett and the title picture, becoming a contender. Summer of 2023 saw Ilia face off against Josh Emmett, one of the most dangerous strikers in the featherweight division. Emmett had knockout power, but Ilia's precision and timing were on a different level. Ilia outclassed Emmett with his speed, landing combination after combination while avoiding Emmett's biggest shots. By round 2, Emmett was visibly hurt, and Ilia smelled blood. The fight ended with a dominant performance from Ilia, earning him a 50-42 decision, a rare score in MMA. It was clear, Ilia Topuria was now a top contender, and his time for a title shot was right around the corner. The ultimate goal, UFC champion. With every win, Ilia's dream of becoming UFC champion is becoming more and more realistic. His knockout power, striking precision, and elite grappling make him a force to be reckoned with. Whether it's in the featherweight division or moving up to lightweight, Ilia is proving that he's ready for the best. In 2024, he's set to face the UFC's champion, whether it's the current featherweight king or someone else. But one thing is for sure, Ilia Topuria is coming for that title, and with his combination of skill, speed, and power, it might only be a matter of time before he becomes the new champion. Ilia Topuria's rise to the top has been nothing short of spectacular. From a Greco-Roman wrestler to one of the UFC's deadliest knockout artists, he's come a long way. But this is just the beginning. The future is bright for El Matador, and there's no telling just how far he can go. What do you think? Can Ilia Topuria become the next UFC champion? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more updates on the baddest fighters in MMA. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.